Well, we want to move now to the latest fire breaking out in the West Hills. The Kenneth Fire has already burned 960 acres, and as we mentioned at the top of the hour, this fire is now being investigated as arson. One person has been detained by LAPD in Woodland Hills and has been taken into questioning. Some evacuation orders have been downgraded, but people living in the Hidden Hills are being asked to follow any new evacuation messages. The nearby city of Calabasas is also being affected by the flames. Tim Caputo now is live in Calabasas with more. Tim.
And it's interesting you mentioned this arson investigation, because I think a lot of folks, especially after the last 2 days, seeing this fire pop up seemingly out of nowhere, had to wonder to themselves, where is this coming from? As you guys mentioned, one person has been taken in for questioning in Woodland Hills, being questioned by LAPD at this point. This is an arson investigation. We typically, this early on into any fire, don't have any kind of sense of how a fire may have started. Obviously, it's early in the investigation, but interesting, they already have someone in custody. You see behind me, we're on Las Virgenes. The street is shut down. This area is actually covered by the sheriff's department, so they're the ones who shut down this street, and it's pretty dark back there because there's no power back there either. A number of condos and apartment buildings all have been evacuated. Actually, when we just arrived here earlier this afternoon, and those folks, some of them waiting here in the corner hoping to get back to their homes, but at the moment that evacuation order remains in effect. I want to show you pictures from a little while ago, because we were the only crew that got up close and personal with this fire as it got close to some of those condos, as this line of fire inched closer and closer to these apartment buildings that are kind of on a lower level, and up at the top of the canyon, a number of condos and apartments as well. It's mostly grass when it gets to the top there, so the fire seemed to slow down an awful lot, but it was a big assist from above. The aerial attack really slowed down the fire, especially as it got closer and closer to some of these structures here. I can say at this point, it doesn't appear any structures have been touched. This fire went in the canyon essentially behind West Hills, fairly close to Hidden Hills, Woodland Hills, but it kind of worked its way over more west and a little bit more north towards Calabasas. That's why the evacuation order was put in place, especially for all the folks here on Las Virgenes. And those people, man, they listened to that warning and they got out quick.
No, we have ready everything since November, Camarillo, December, Malibu, and again, Pacific Palisades, we were ready. I didn't think it's going to be really going to happen to us.
You kind of psychologically prepare yourself, but no matter how much you psych yourself up, when it comes down to it, your heart's pounding 100 miles an hour, and you are just racing to get what you can. But honestly, at the end, if you don't get out of there, it's your life. And it's unbelievable. People think, oh, what you rationalize in your head is not what really happens when you're there at the moment.
Also give credit where credit is due. The sheriff's department went through every single street of these apartment complexes, letting them know they needed to get out as soon as possible. And like I said, people listened to that warning. We saw folks essentially get out of town by every means possible, on bike, on foot, and yes, on skateboard as well, with luggage in tow. People really listening to those warnings, especially as they've watched and seen how devastating the last 2 days have been in a number of different communities. Back out here live, this gives you a sense. We're pretty far away from the front of the fire itself, and it's mostly grass and kind of going away, but these trucks have been stationed pretty close to the 101, and we've seen them actually leave the area and go on the 101, kind of an indication that at least the immediate threat here has diminished significantly, especially from we got here about 3-4 o'clock this afternoon. The road remains shut down, obviously with power out and the concern still there. The evacuation order remains in effect, at least for Las Virgenes at the moment, but the big news here, obviously one person is being questioned by LAPD, and this is being investigated as an arson, but obviously more to come on that as police release potentially more information about their investigation.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe button for our YouTube channel, and download the ABC7 Los Angeles streaming app on Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV, and Roku to watch on your TV.